a trilogy, or would you rather just see the Benavidez?
I'd rather see the Benavidez. I mean, Beterbiev deserved a trilogy technically,
Yeah.
because of the first fight. I thought Bivol won the first fight
I did too. Yeah, I did too.
But me, I think that Benavidez and Bivol is another fight that's one of the biggest and best fights in the sport of boxing. I don't know if it's the biggest, but one of the best
yeah.
as far as like competitive wise.
I think he dropped Bivol in sparring too.
I heard that shit too.
He said, yeah, I dropped that.
I heard that too. But like, I don't base it off sparring. Like, I think a lot of people base it off of sparring. You know whether somebody's good or not in sparring, but like,
yeah.
You don't know what type of day they having. Like, if you sparred on one time, you don't know what type of day they having or like what's going on there. So I try not to base it off sparring.
No trilogy talk, just pure fire, as Shakur Stevenson calls it, straight and breaks down a fight that could shake the entire division. Speaking with Joe Rogan, Shakur made it clear he does not want a Bivol versus Beterbiev trilogy, while also revealing why Canelo is ducking the Mexican monster.
A lot of very, very compelling matchups. Are they gonna do a Bivol-Beterbiev rematch? Are they gonna do
I don't want to see
a trilogy?
I want to see Bivol versus Benavidez.
Ooh,
that's the
yeah.
fight. Like, I don't.
Well, the fight was Benavidez versus Canelo. Well, that never could get made for some reason.
I mean, that dude is just too big for Canelo though. Like, I'm not. I see both sides. Like, I love Benavidez and I'm a fan of him. So I see the side of like fight me, bro. You the guy. I'm the guy. We number one. Let's fight. But then I see Canelo's side. He's like, man, this dude is 200 pounds on the regular.
Right.
And I'm nowhere near that weight.
Beyond revealing how Bivol beating Canelo taught him to avoid these matchups, Shakur explains how Benavidez helped him prepare for Teofimo and calls the Mexican monster a real killer.
Why would I fight this guy? Like, I don't think it's fair. Like, that's how he feeling, so.
Yeah, I understand it, but Canelo went up and fought Bivol.
But he knew. He didn't think Bivol was gonna beat him.
You don't think so?
Nah.
Well,
he thought he was gonna beat Bivol.
After Bivol beat him, you think that killed the chances?
Yes,
of the
he knew
fight?
like it's time. Like, I cannot fight these guys that's super big and.
I love watching Benavidez fight.
Yeah, he's the truth.
He's a mauler. He is a
He did
killer.
something that helped my hands. He told me to put on the gloves that I be wearing on fight night, and they helped my hands. So I appreciate him too.
Breaking down the fight, Shakur, despite his respect for Benavidez, leans toward Bivol, calling it a close battle that could edge in Bivol's favor by the end.
Who you got in there? That's a hard fight. I ain't gonna lie.
I'm leaning towards Bivol. But I know like it would be tough with Benavidez with his pressure, just his fighting style overall. That's a beast. So I see it as Bivol being a winner, but it'll be close.
On the other hand, Benavidez is riding sky-high confidence, insisting he will go in there, beat Bivol, and inflict even more damage than what he claims happened in sparring.
How would you see that one going, you and Bivol?
I would beat Bivol. I used to spar him a lot. The last time I sparred him, I used to spar him in Los Angeles in the wild card. And actually, the last time I sparred him, I rocked him. We sparred 4 rounds, and I rocked him in the last round. And there was a lot of people there. You know, I don't gotta lie to nobody. You know, I'm telling you the truth. That's why I'm really confident in myself that I could go in there and beat Dmitry Bivol. It won't be easy because, like I said, he's a great fighter, but at the end of the day, this is what we're here for. We're here to compete. You know, I want to compete against the best, and I want to show the world who I am.
Benavidez's confidence comes from sparring legends like Gennady Golovkin and even Bivol himself, all at the young age of just 14 to 15.
I'm world champion since I was 14 years old. I sparred Kelly Pavlik, 14. I sparred Golovkin.
Kelly Pavlik, that's on fire.
Yeah, I sparred him when I was 14 years old, and then I sparred Golovkin at 15, from 15 all the way to 19. So I've been in there with all of them. I've been sparring. I sparred Artur Ramirez too. I sparred Bivol a lot. You know, I sparred him a lot. So I know I have what it takes, and I just want to show the world what I could do.
The level of danger Benavidez brings is something even legends openly recognize. Lennox Lewis shows deep respect for him, pointing out how often top fighters avoid the challenge. Lewis makes it clear this pattern is not just coincidence, but hesitation against a real threat. Benavidez has never stepped back from anyone, always ready to face the best. According to Lewis, that kind of avoidance from others does more harm to their legacy than any loss ever could.
Yeah. Jumping in with Benavidez.
Yeah. Benavidez, that's my guy right there. He's a serious contender.
You think he's swerving him, Canelo?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, just a blatant, straight out swerve. Fancy it.
Yeah, definitely. The man's a boogeyman in one sense. He's like, who is out there to give him a good fight? I don't see anybody out there to give him a good fight. He's that good.
When it comes to a potential clash with Bivol, Lewis still leans toward Benavidez, seeing something rare in his overall ability. He views him as more than just power, highlighting a mix of skill, pressure, and composure that separates him. Lewis believes this matchup would be competitive, but Benavidez holds the edge through his intensity and complete style. In his eyes, it is not just about strength, but about quality meeting equality, where Benavidez's relentless approach could ultimately make the difference.
What about Bivol? If Bivol beat Canelo, that'd be an interesting fight, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Benavidez, Dmitry Bivol.
Benavidez and Bivol. I'm still picking Benavidez on that one.
He is quality and a quality, classy operator.
The question about fighters avoiding Benavidez has come up many times, and Ariel Helwani addressed the debate around Dmitry Bivol. He noted that while some fans online label it as ducking, the reality looks different when you examine it closely. Bivol has recently faced elite opposition and is not avoiding challenges. Helwani explained that his next direction seems influenced by loyalty to Turki Alalshik, who helped secure major fights and rematches after controversial moments, rather than fear of Benavidez.
I see some people, even in the chat right now, we're live on the DAZN Boxing YouTube channel, on the app as well, saying that Bivol ducked Benavidez. And look, on paper, you look at it, like on its surface, okay, he didn't take the fight. Come on. Dmitry Bivol ain't ducking anyone. I mean, he just fought this monster twice, pardon the pun. Like, come on, he's not ducking anyone. I think it is actually what you said. I think he has some sort of loyalty and kinship towards Turkey, who made these fights, who got him big paydays, who made the rematch after he was maybe screwed in the first fight, and so he's going that direction, and there's nothing wrong with that.
As a fan perspective, Ariel Helwani said interest in a Bivol versus Benavidez fight is very high because it feels fresh compared to recent matchups. He pointed out that the fighters have already shared many rounds recently, which makes another immediate rematch less exciting for some viewers. Still, he stressed that calling it ducking is not accurate and should not be taken seriously. In his view, the situation is more about timing, matchmaking, and audience interest than avoidance or fear.
As a fan, I'm way more interested in Benavidez Bivol. I'm way more interested in seeing that fight because it's fresh. We just saw these guys compete in 24 straight rounds in the span of 4 months. Like, it wasn't like we had to wait a long time for the rematch. So as a fan, I'm a little bit disappointed, but I'm not going to listen to any Bivol duck Benavidez nonsense.
That's nonsense.
As for Canelo, he insists Benavidez does not add much to his legacy and says he is only focused on fights that bring real legacy value. A fighter who once went up against William Skull, seen as a lower caliber opponent compared to Benavidez. Canelo's stance may sound surprising to many fans, but that is exactly what Canelo Alvarez continues to maintain. For him, it is all about timing, status, and legacy building rather than chasing every available name in the division.
He don't bring me legacy, he don't bring me anything. So if the money is right, I mean.
So what fights do you think do bring you legacy outside of Belanga? What other fights bring you legacy?
I don't know. Right now, there not much people left. I fought everybody already. So.
But here's the irony. Jake Paul has recently revealed that he and Canelo have agreed to a fight with a reported $200 million payday, an amount Canelo once said he would want for taking on Benavidez, yet he shifted his plans toward legacy fights instead. Now, things have taken another surprising turn as Paul is seen holding direct conversations with Canelo to finalize the deal, making the whole situation feel even more unexpected for fans watching it unfold.
Yeah, all right. Good, bro. I really respect you as an
all right, so
and as a brand, and you are very
this is me
smart.
talking to Canelo.
I look up to you. You're an inspiration. Me and you have a lot of similarities. fast cars, fun, razors, horses.
And what do you say?
All of that. All of that.
Things, and I respect you. And I have nothing.
How much money did he want?
Canelo wanted 200 million.
Focusing yours.
We're still listening to the conversation here, right?
Joe Rogan criticized the way boxing handles big fights, saying the sport often lacks structure and allows too much control from fighters and promoters. He argued that governing bodies should step in and force major matchups instead of letting negotiations drag or collapse. Using examples from other sports, he explained that champions are expected to compete regularly against top contenders, and boxing should follow a similar system to ensure the best fighters actually face each other in the ring.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's goofy.
It's like not organized. You can't let the inmates run the asylum, for lack of a better phrase. You have to force the fight. Patrick Mahomes comes into a football season, he doesn't automatically go to the playoffs.
Right.
He's got to play every game. The WBC should have forced Canelo to fight David Benavidez. He's just trying to maneuver his career with the least risk.
And the most money.
And the most money.
David Benavidez, they offered Canelo $70 million to fight me. That's before pay-per-view. They offered me a flat fee of $5 million. I said yes. Then we never heard back. But the reality is, most people think of a world champion as a UFC champion. But in boxing, the WBA champion is thought exactly the same way as the WBC champion. It depends on who it is.
Building on, he also emphasized that boxing should prioritize making the biggest fights happen, even if they are not perfect commercially at first. He believes the sport should reduce focus on promotional demand and instead guarantee that top champions meet in the ring. According to him, the goal should be to determine a true champion by competition, not negotiation delays. In his view, forcing elite matchups would create clarity, remove politics, and ensure fans consistently see the best fight the best.
The fights need to be forced. And you know what? You have to let go of the draw a little bit. Like, well, this fight is not going to, it doesn't matter if it draws or not. We need this fight to happen so that we can get the best champion.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So we can get the real champion here.
All of this has clearly frustrated Benavidez, who has now shifted his focus toward Bivol while also going on an open rant against Canelo. He argues that Canelo is making massive money from pay-per-views while still not giving fans the fights they truly want. In his view, that approach feels disrespectful to supporters who expect top-level matchups. He believes a true champion, especially one holding multiple titles, should be fighting the best in the division instead of avoiding key contenders.
What I wanted to tell you guys too, I mean, this guy, he's making the most money out of everybody. He's charging you guys so much for the pay-per-views. It's like he's spitting in your guys' face, saying that he doesn't give a what you guys want. He's not going to give you the best fights. He's going to fight the fights that he wants. In my opinion, that's a little bit disrespectful to the fans, but he has cult-like fans that, you know, they don't tell him and they're happy with whatever he does. But at the end of the day, if you hold all the titles, you got to fight the best in the division. I'm number one in the division, number one contender. The second one is David Morrell. He's not fighting me, nor he's not fighting David Morrell. So it makes no sense.
Continuing his frustration, Benavidez questions how Canelo can call himself a champion while not facing the top-ranked fighters like himself or David Morrell. He also challenges the demand for massive payday figures, suggesting the biggest money fight available is already his name. In his opinion, excuses are running out as criticism grows louder. He adds that being the biggest draw gives fighters control over matchmaking, but insists that true greatness still comes from proving yourself against the best in the division.
If he doesn't fight the number one or the number two guys, he's asking $200 million. Why, when they bring my name up with him, that's the most money he's gonna make. When he fought Amir Khan, he outweighed him by like 25 pounds. But you know, I think it's just he's running out of excuses and running out of things to say. But that's just how it is. I guess that's when you're the cash cow, you can do whatever you want.
After dismantling Zurdo Ramirez, the discussion over who Benavidez should face next has grown even louder. Lonnie B delivered a blunt take, saying boxing is heavily driven by politics and arguing that David should face the same level of criticism Canelo receives for not fighting him. In his view, Benavidez not getting Artur Beterbiev earlier raises questions, especially since similar calls existed even before he moved up in weight and before opportunities with top names failed to materialize.
So I see the boxing world and so-called legends are crucifying Canelo for not fighting David. So if we're gonna do that, we gotta be fair. We gotta crucify David for not fighting Artur and going up to cruiserweight because Artur is available. I think after he said he was going up to cruiserweight, Artur put a post out, and he's never put a post out. Like as far as talking, like trash. Yeah. He put a post out like, yo, I thought I was next. You know what I'm saying? So what I think David is doing is waiting for the right time to fight Artur. Like, okay, I ain't gonna fight him now. I'm gonna wait like another year, 2 years maybe, then I'm gonna fight him. But then it's like you beat him in my book. Like, so what? Okay, so what? Because I know for a fact that when he didn't make weight at 168, they made him #1 mandatory for Artur when he didn't make 68.
In his brutal rant, Lonnie B argues that Benavidez could not even make 168 properly at one point, while his father reportedly pushed for the WBC to rank him so he could move forward with bigger opportunities. In his view, Canelo is not ducking anyone and simply does not see anything meaningful coming from Benavidez. Lonnie's argument is straightforward, saying if Benavidez is not being criticized for his own circumstances, then Canelo should not be crucified for making similar career choices.
We got to be fair. And in all fairness, Canelo's fought everybody. They're crucifying the man because he won't fight a heavyweight. Like, the fact that he's crushing, that he just did this dessert shows that he's a big guy that strings down. You understand what I'm saying? So I think it's just unfair. I think Canelo is great in his own right. I think Canelo has nothing to prove. I think he gets nothing out of fighting David. I don't think it's a duck. I just think, so it's okay for David and them to play the smart route, but it's not okay when Canelo do it.
Sharing his thoughts, Tim Bradley believes that if Benavidez makes it to Bivol, he will then focus on a very tough challenge ahead. Timothy Bradley highlights the skill set Bivol brings and explains how it could create major problems for Benavidez in the ring. In his view, Bivol's technical ability, movement, and control could push Benavidez into uncomfortable situations, making that matchup one of the most difficult tests of his entire career if it ever happens.
Footwork is cold, jab is cold. You know, very, very, you know, simplicity, man. You know, it's a beautiful thing. Fundamentals, beautiful thing. Distance control is a beautiful thing. You know, he uses that high guard very well. His in and out movement, you know, his combinations, they feast flows. Yeah, he's very difficult. And he got a high boxing IQ. So he's seen it all. And, you know, he's been, man, look, anybody that can deal with the pressure and the punching power of a Beterbiev, bro, I mean, you damn good, you know.
He also factors in Bivol beating Beterbiev, seeing it as another sign of his dominance. According to him, if a man can handle what Beterbiev brings, then he will not struggle against Benavidez either. Timothy Bradley believes that Bivol's style, timing, and discipline would translate into problems for anyone at the top level. In his view, that performance against elite opposition proves Bivol has the tools to deal with Benavidez in a high-level matchup.
A master at your craft to be able to deal with that type of punching power, you know, and you know, I'm gonna give Beterbiev some credit. He does have a little boxing IQ too. He got an IQ, and he's not dumb, you know. But yeah, and he beat him, endured what he dished out. Yeah. Bivol is definitely the truth.
And that's where the debate really heats up. From Canelo's legacy talk to Benavidez calling out the division to Bivol standing as the final puzzle piece, every angle is pulling boxing in a different direction. Nothing is settled yet, and every voice only adds more fuel to the fire. Now it comes down to one thing: will the best actually fight the best, or will this stay a war of words outside the ring? If you enjoyed this breakdown, hit that like button, subscribe, and drop your take in the comments. Who wins these matchups in your eyes?